Wasn't sure you were gonna make it back in one piece. Any trouble out there?
Not sure I'd call it smooth, but it's taken care of.
Hey, anyone you can walk away from. Here, got you a little something for the trouble. Let me know when you're ready for the next job.
Any news on your side?
Just been cleaning things up here from the raid. Speaking of which, if you want to lend a hand, feel free to use the workshops around here. There's one on the first floor and also a second one in the bunker. Have a look around and make yourself comfortable.
Hey there.
If you're ready to get started on the next phase, let me explain.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I got a pal and good neighbor. Goes by the name Hancock. After what happened at University Point in Quincy, he's got some concerns about the next shoe to drop in downtown Boston.
What do you mean?
Every urban area has pressure points, centers of gravity that hold a region's economy together. Take out the pressure points, and it inflicts a disproportionate amount of economic pain. Trade suffers, supply chains stop moving, and eventually people start going hungry. The fabric of society starts to crumble. The Institute knows this, so do the Gunners. It's not hard to guess what their next targets might be.
Is Diamond City really in danger? It's not like there's raiders pounding on the gate.
Maybe not raiders, but they got super mutant hordes right around the corner, and synths have infiltrated their local government. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Diamond City isn't the settlement most in danger of falling. Good Neighbor is.
Why do you say that?
You mean besides the elevated sniper perches surrounding the town, and the relative ease of blockading the entrance so no food or supplies can get in or out?
Yeah. Obviously.
It's like this. If your settlement is poor, you can't afford adequate security. If your security stinks, your enemies eventually take notice, and sooner or later, they'll either demand tribute or conquer you.
So, if you want your city not to get pillaged, you need a functional economy. It's hard to pull off when your clientele is primarily low-end chem addicts and drifters. There's no real money in catering to riffraff like that. For Good Neighbor to survive, it needs to attract a higher class of clientele.
So what's the solution?
Bottom line, Hancock wants to clean up Good Neighbor. Starting with the chem dealers selling drugs to kids, the thugs harassing visitors for protection money, the back alley murders, the gang activity, and the never-ending stream of aspiring scam artists. He wants all of them gone. Not detained, not bargained with, just gone.
Makes sense to get rid of the trash. What's the catch?
As mayor, he can't be officially connected to ordering hits on his constituency. So, he's contracted out certain jobs on the down low to a few people he trusts. That's where you come in.
I need some details here. I have no idea what I'm getting into.
There's 3 jobs I want you to start with. First job is to entrap an old ghoul who's been trying to rip off Hancock. Second one is to eliminate a Triggerman gang infesting the town's warehouses. And a third task is to take out a few miscreants plaguing the local economy. You can do the jobs in any order you want. I've written down all the details on this holotape, including the local contacts to get started. Once the jobs are complete, cross them off your list and we'll move on to the next phase. And one more thing. You did us a solid with that gunner job. Anything we can help you with in return?
My son, Sean, was kidnapped. I'm looking for help to find him.
Man, sorry to hear that. Can you describe how he got kidnapped?
We were in a vault when it happened. Vault 111. It was some kind of cryo facility. My husband was murdered. He was just trying to keep them from taking Sean, and they just...
Take your time. We're listening, of course, but details would be helpful.
There was a man and a woman. They didn't say much, but I remember they called me the backup. The woman was dressed in, I think it was kind of a hazard suit. The man had some sort of metal brace on his arm. One of them came right up to me. Bald head, scar across his left eye. I'll never forget that voice. Low and rough. Like sandpaper. Across your face.
You didn't happen to get a name, did you?
Oh, yeah. I heard their names, their home addresses, and where their diary keys are hidden.
Yeah, I kinda figured. So Vault 111 was a cryo facility? That's crazy. I headed up there once, but it was sealed shut.
They had us cryogenically frozen in these pods. But something malfunctioned. The man who killed my husband, he had a handgun. I didn't get a clear look at it, but that sound.
Rather traumatic, I suppose. So, no name, but the killer had a bald head, scar, gravelly voice, and likely a rep for doing shady jobs. Sounds a bit like a local merc named Kellogg. Somewhat nasty character.
Rumor is he had a place in Diamond City. But there's something else.
Please, tell me what you know.
Fuck, this is a tough one. I shouldn't be sharing this, but it's your kid we're talking about. Look, check the desk in my room. There's a holotape in there. Might have some answers you're looking for.
A holotape? What's on it?
Tough to explain. You need to see it for yourself. But the gist is, back in Quincy, when Stella's mom was bleeding out in my arms, the last thing she told me was to pull a holotape out of her cargo pants pocket. Not the type of thing you expect to hear in someone's dying words. I asked her why, but didn't get an answer. She just whispered to show it to Stella when she was old enough. And just like that, she was gone. Took a while before I could bring myself to read what was on the tape. Part of me wishes I hadn't.
I appreciate you telling me all of this. I know it's difficult.
Just promise me that whatever happens, you don't mention a word of this to Stella. She doesn't know, and that's the way it's gotta stay for now.
You have my word.
And hey, good luck out there.
Hey, got a sec? I bet you hear all kinds of gossip. Any words of wisdom? I bet you hear all kinds of gossip. Your thoughts? What are you thinking about? How are you feeling about things? I bet you hear all kinds of gossip. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? How are you feeling about things? What are you thinking about? I bet you hear all kinds of gossip. Your thoughts? I think we ought to part ways. Hi.
Name's Holly. It's nice to meet ya. You interested in having a little fun?
I don't have the caps on me right now.
Not where I was headed with that, but I can see how you might have interpreted that way. So, let me ask you something. You ever read comic books?
Why does it matter?
Old comics are my absolute favorite. I think they cater to human aspiration, distilling our best and worst human qualities and pitting them against each other in an entertaining conflict. The best ones show us pieces of ourselves in all the different heroes. And besides, superheroes are wicked cool.
Couldn't agree more.
I grew up in an old print shop where they had a stash of undelivered comics. All sorts of great characters, but my favorite was Harley Quinn. I first noticed Harley's comic because she had the same first name as me. But as I read more of her stories, it felt like we had a real connection.
Why do you say that?
Holly was a good person who got drawn into a dark lifestyle because she tried to fix someone she loved. Most girls can relate trying to change a guy who's never gonna change. There's something intense and passionate about being with someone who pulls you back in each time they hurt you. No matter how powerful and strong you are as a person, sometimes you lose control. Your obsession keeps you holding on for the crazy ride, lusting after the highs and waiting out the lows.
Why are you telling me all of this?
All I'm saying is that sometimes us girls can get a little, overzealous. When we put our minds to it, we're way more devious, scheming, and vindictive than our male counterparts could ever be. And Harley Quinn is the epitome of that. She's an out-and-out crazy bitch. There's something you just want to applaud about a character so unashamed of a utterly disastrous mentality. She knows she's crazy, but she wholeheartedly embraces it and makes it work. She's a no-fucks-given, hot-pants-wearing middle finger to the rest of the world. Plus, she's fun, and who doesn't like a bit of fun?
Where are you going with all this?
I wanted to be just like Holly growing up, and part of that never went away. Lately, I've been trying to track down some of her gear. I found an old article in the Fallon's archives saying that before the war, Harley Quinn outfits were some of the most popular costumes for Halloween. I want to find one, and I think I know where to look.
So, give me the details.
There was an old clothing store called Hot Topic down at the Monsinger Plaza. Legend is they were in the business of selling overpriced merchandise to teens who wanted a gothic or punk look. And if the Harley Quinn costume was as popular as I'm reading, maybe they've got an extra outfit or two lying around.
So, where do I come in?
I don't care much for traveling down to that area without backup. Place is crawling with raiders. And everyone else here thinks that chasing after an old costume is a waste of time. But you, I've got a feeling you might be different. So, what do you think? Will you come with me?
If that's what floats your boat?
All right then, we'll head out when you're ready. If Hot Topic doesn't have it, I know a couple other places we can look.